Greetings to you all, and welcome back to Let's Play Red Alert. Here we have a briefing. Our main mission is to get a spy into one of the Soviet tech centers across the Gulf.
Yes, sir.
Now, my English is lacking me here. I'm not too sure what a gulf is. To me, it's a gap, but we'll see.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Now, for some reason, the game doesn't start me with an MCV. It says instead, no, you have to fend off these 3 infantry units, prove your worth, then, and only then, shall we grant you with an MCV.
Construction options. Building.
Now I could just see a little notch of ore over to the left, which tells me that all of the ore is going to be over to the left,
New construction.
because that's the way that the game does things. It doesn't put one blot of ore on its own to the left and then have an entire field to the right. That would be quite trickerous. Nasty of the game. So instead the game is, you can take it for granted that if you can see one speck of ore, that's where the whole field's going to be.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
And this level has a nasty habit of attacking you very early with lots of units. Now you're thinking 3 infantry, you're scared of 3 infantry,
Affirmative.
but hold your horses, they come in larger numbers.
Acknowledged.
It's nothing too crazy, but if you spend all of your time and money building buildings at the start, you might get overwhelmed, maybe? I'm going to take one precaution when I build my base to make sure we don't have this problem.
Construction options.
That is, I'm going to go straight for a war factory. Now, usually, I would go for a radar dome, because I love my minimap, I like to see what's going on, I like to see what's going to kill me.
Awaiting knowledge.
This time, straight for a war factory,
Affirmative.
so I can get any kind of tank.
Vehicle acknowledged.
We're against the Soviets, which means they have the double-barreled heavy tanks, very fearsome units.
Reporting.
I do have some bazooka men to deal with them,
Affirmative.
but I'd rather get up a couple of tanks and feel safe. Yeah, I think attacking us here. We'll do a little bit of scouting.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
This group of men, a real threat,
Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
as long as
Agreed.
my
At once.
guys don't group up too badly,
Affirmative. Of course.
Construction complete.
which they're going to.
Unit lost.
No, we're fine.
At once.
Construction options.
Medium tanks, very nice. So now the Allies are able to build their second type of tank, the medium tank, which is still worse than the heavy tank. There it is.
Yes, sir.
Cursed thing.
Sir? Ready. Yes, sir.
I do think it's a little mean of the game to attack with a heavy tank quite so early. It does give you the units to deal with it, yes, but
Unit ready.
if you're unprepared, you could lose all of your... No, what am I doing? If you're not prepared, you could lose all of your bazooka men to the grenadiers earlier, or the fearsome yaks,
Yes, sir.
and thus be left completely undefended for that tank.
Construction options. Building.
Reporting knowledge.
No, I need power plant first.
Cancel. Building. Building.
So we're just going to get up... No, we're not going to get up a second tank. We're going to get up a second ore truck.
Cancel.
We always roll with 2 ore trucks, you know this by now.
Construction complete.
The enemy does have yaks,
Very well.
but they're attacking from the bottom right. So if I
Building.
place my... What's shooting at what? Flamers! We'll kill 'em.
Affirmative.
So everything that has fire weaponry in this game shoots fireballs rather than a lick of flame, as was in the previous game,
Reporting.
which...
Yeah. Okay.
How
Okay.
exactly did that happen?
Yes, sir. Very well.
Change of
On
plan,
hold.
we don't need you.
Cancel. Construction options.
As I was trying to say with the yaks,
Reporting. Agreed.
because the yaks will always attack from the bottom right,
Yes, sir.
so long as I put my bazooka infantry
Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
on the bottom right, they're always going to shoot the plane before it reaches any target.
Ready and waiting.
Unless the bazooka men are the target, in which case they're all going to die horribly.
Reporting at once.
Nice to see I was right about this. You get attacked a lot at the start of the level business.
Reporting. Yes, sir.
I'm going to need the rockets in here. Medium tank can't take it alone.
Yes, sir.
Nice win.
Affirmative.
Getting 1 APC
Yeah, okay.
to handle the infantry. APCs aren't my unit of choice, really.
Unit ready.
Reporting.
Obviously, they have very weak damage output and they're used for transportation. But I don't do many transportation plays. Every now and again, I might drop some engineers somewhere, but the old engineer drop has been nerfed somewhat in this game.
Affirmative.
Back in the golden days, where one engineer could capture a building by itself,
Building.
We used to love engineer drops.
Yeah.
Now it takes 4 engineers to capture a building. It's less effective.
Building.
Of course, you can send an APC with 1 engineer and 4 grenadiers in it or something, but then you're still only going to capture 1 building. I found a more suitable way to deal with the enemy attacking forces.
Yes,
So not from this side, apparently.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Construction.
So the APCs should be good against just about everything that the all of the infantry that the enemy can bring at us. They're good at taking hits from flame. They're not great at taking hits from grenades, but they're not bad. And obviously minigunners can't damage them. Could build AA guns, but I'm not going to, because, as we've learnt, 3 rocket troops can kill an enemy's attacking air force,
Under attack.
and they cost 900 for the whole base, whereas those cost 600 apiece.
Complete.
So this will do just fine. That probably wasn't the smartest place to put that. My APC. Where is my APC?
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
I noticed that I never seem to take advantage of the you can leave a gap while building
Complete.
new feature in the game. As I point out that I have taken advantage of it. Look at me go, aren't I great?
Reporting. Affirmative.
It's too ingrained from the previous game to build buildings next to each other to me. But also, I like putting my base close together because I find it easier to defend.
Silos needed.
For example,
Waiting orders. Yes, sir.
those chaps,
Acknowledged.
they are easier to defend a base that's nice and clumped up together. Silos are never needed, lie. Now, I noticed that we have access to the Naval Yard, which suggests that we're going to be
Unit
building
ready.
boats at one
Building.
point. This
Yes, sir.
is
Affirmative.
Building.
not good,
Construction complete.
because it means that we're going to be fighting submarines at some point. And I don't like fighting submarines.
Construction complete.
Okay, the base is looking somewhat stable. Did I lose my ranger? I lost my ranger.
Unit
Sir.
ready.
Okay.
Affirmative.
Building.
We don't need scouts. We're fine.
Affirmative.
You,
Yeah.
you're my scout.
Okay.
They're so agreeable, the technicians. You gotta love them.
Awaiting orders.
Maybe I shouldn't have built a second ult track. Well, I didn't.
Low power.
Those yaks attacked from off-screen.
Ready.
How am I supposed to defend against that?
Vehicle reporting.
Come on, Camo.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
We're gonna need a backup power plant.
Building. Construction complete.
So my technician didn't last long. He unearthed some sandbags, though. All credit to the man. I do find rangers pointless. You've seen how effective rangers have been up to now. 600 for a ranger, 700 for a light tank, or if you desperately want a vehicle anti-infantry, 800 for an APC.
Building.
Why would you ever bother with rangers? Now someone's going to point out, well, technically speaking, an early game ranger rush is a viable method of harassment. I'm going to say, quiet, I'm playing the campaign. You're a stupid unit. We're going to have to find some more Tiberium.
Unit ready.
The yak attack plane attacking from the right. Looks like the enemy has some kind of call-in yak power.
Building.
Which sounds terrifying. Gonna go scout with the APC. If it finds a tank, it's going to retreat, because it's fast. Okay. The APC scouting powers are not that good, that upon seeing a base, it immediately has entire knowledge of the entire base.
Sir. Vehicle
The
reporting.
reason this happened
Unit ready.
is because it was a scripted event.
Training.
The game said to itself, if you can see any of this base, it should immediately show you all of the base. And now we see why we're being attacked by infantry all the time. All they have is a barracks and a radar dish.
Unit ready.
So that explains that.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged. Commander.
And now it's time for your lesson of the day. Today we explain the spy.
King and country.
Now we had a spy in the last level, and you learnt in the last level that spies upon entering war factories produce trucks, and that upon entering technology centres produce Tanyas. Neither of these facts are true.
Yes, sir.
These guys don't know what to do because we've run out of ore to harvest. They'll have some more shortly. Now,
Yes, sir. On my way.
here's what a spy actually does. If you put a spy into a barracks, you can see what infantry they are training within. The same is true if you put it into a war factory, or a naval yard, or a sub-pen, or airfield. You can see what unit the enemy is building. Got to pause for this lengthy discussion. If you put a spy in a radar dish, then you gain access to the enemy's radar, and you can see everything that they can see.
Yes, sir.
Watch.
For king and country.
Building infiltrated.
Maybe not quite everything. No, it is everything. Yes, it is everything. So everything the computer now scouts, I will get knowledge of. I haven't captured the radar dish, I just put a spy in it, and that's what it gives me. I'm not going to bother building another spy and putting it in there, that's useless. But spies in radar domes are perhaps the best uses of spies in the game.
Affirmative.
You can also put a spy inside a
Yes, sir.
refinery, and I don't think they can go in silos, but possibly. And if you do put him in a refinery, it will tell you how many credits the enemy has, which isn't the most useful thing in the world, let's be honest. But there you go, that's what that does. If you want to steal credits, you're going to have to park yourself a thief inside a refinery.
Acknowledged. Waiting orders. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Another disadvantage that the Allies have, in later games the spy is also able to steal funds. The two roles are mixed into one,
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
which is good because the spy
Acknowledged.
is hard to kill because of his natural cloaky stealthiness.
Affirmative.
But in this game they thought, no,
Affirmative.
the Allies, if anything, are too strong. We should therefore take one of their units and split it into two.
Affirmative.
Now you see the chaps over here very smartly decided that they should break out of their imprisonment by grenading a sandbag, came at me.
Yes, sir.
One would question why they were put there in the first place, but we'll leave that for another day.
Acknowledged.
We've
Acknowledged.
now crushed the enemy's base. Noise troubles me so.
Yes, sir.
And because this base is an enemy's, I don't know, first vantage point, they're programmed not to rebuild it. And I mistook this mess on the minimap for a piece of water. I was about to go explore. What's all these waterous channels that we've discovered? But no, it's just mess around the outside. Spy info, people. It's very nice. Finally, we have a use for this button that we didn't use for an entire game last time we played.
Acknowledged.
Okay, so I'm going to build an engineer and I'm going to capture their radar dish. I don't need
Reporting.
radar dome. There's no dish in that thing. I don't need to capture this because I have my own. But my reasons are twofold. Number one, I'll get the money back for the engineer when I sell it, so it doesn't really matter. Number two, it will give me a building next to the water, so I can drop a naval yard in.
Building.
So much so that I'm going to have the naval yard pre-built and ready to go.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Now, as far as my guesses go, this is probably it for our island, and we're going to have to
Construction complete.
fill ourselves up with transports and push out. There may be a land connection between the two bases, but I think the computer would have sent reinforcements when we were attacking it if that was the case. And I notice we have a beach,
Acknowledged.
which usually signals transportation time.
Reporting.
Important to have your entire coastline scouted then, because the computer could always drop us with an amphibious transport at any moment.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Well, there was ore to the left and to the right.
Affirmative.
Ignore my strategies, they're useless.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
You ready yet? No, come on.
Our base is under attack.
No one cares about the bay. Oh dear. Thought we were there, thought we were there.
Yes, affirmative.
Interesting route you've chosen there.
Construction options.
And thus we sell that back.
Structure
Report.
sold.
Affirmative.
Money is refunded.
At one.
We get ourselves a free bloke. We're in good shape.
Building.
Now we can only build the transports, as we all guessed, let's be honest,
Affirmative.
and gunboats, the weakest ship that the Allies have. The gunboats are the ones that just have one little gun on the front that goes...
Unit ready.
I'm not doing gun sound effects. It goes gun sound effect, and then a bullet flies out of the cannon. It is not the destroyers that were firing missiles, which are much, much better.
Affirmative.
But they're very cheap.
Affirmative.
And you think that we get an entire ship for 500 credits, which is, you know, cheaper than a Jeep.
Unit ready.
You understand why these ships aren't too great.
Building.
But you can mass them in large numbers, so it's not that bad.
Report. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Apparently that's a video over, people. It's a shame, I know.
Affirmative.
In
Acknowledge.
the next video then, we're going to be massing up an aquatic force, taking control of the seas,
Affirmative.
and then after that it will be a job of making us some transports
Affirmative.
and storming the beaches. Hopefully you'll join me for that, and I shall... Why is there's a red dot? People fear this red dot. Next time we shall kill this red dot.